What's up, my fellow lionesses and lions? Welcome to the Project Lioness podcast, where we are here to disrupt the mainstream narrative when it comes to health, holism, and human consciousness. We are here to share bold truths about health and life from a female perspective. This episode is brought to you by our team, Inspire Co., where we stand for your health being inspired by choice rather than being inhibited by chance. Thank you for being here and joining in on these raw, real, and powerful conversations. We hope our show brings you inspiration and empowerment to overcome challenges, reclaim your life, and ultimately pursue your mission with power, purpose, and play. Now, let's get into the episode. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Project Lioness podcast. This is your host, Dr. Mel Krug, and today I am joined by an amazing gentleman, Robert. I almost called you Dr. Robert. That was very interesting. Dr. Robert DeLude. No, he is not a doctor, but he is well trained in a lot of things that we're going to talk about today. Robert, thank you for joining the podcast today.
No, thank you for having me. It is always an honor and a privilege to talk to you. So I am excited. And, you know, Dr. Dre isn't a doctor. So
that's true. You're the doctor of content.
I like it.
That's true. The good touche. I love that. Well, the reason why I'm bringing Robert on, y'all, for our audience is he has a very inspiring, powerful story and journey of self-transformation and is just a person who does not give up. And Robert and I met when I was bodybuilding in 2021 at a conference. And we have stayed connected ever since, being in each other's worlds. You know, he is a huge advocate of chiropractic, and he's going to share a lot of his healing journey today. And I've also been a guest on his podcast. So now I thought, let's bring him on and share with y'all, because I have a lot of women who come on this podcast, and a lot of those women have men in their life, and men need to do the work too. So we're going to talk about that. And Robert is definitely an advocate for that in a lot of different domains. But I wanted to read this, Robert, what you put in your application, because I thought it was really powerful. And I'm going to read it just like you put it in here. So it is in first person. So when I say me, y'all, it's Robert. It's not me. Okay. So for me, sharing my story isn't optional. It's a responsibility. I spent a part of my life at rock bottom, homeless, addicted, hopeless, dyslexic dropout with nothing but a backpack and a belief that maybe, just maybe, I wasn't meant to die in the same place I broke. My wake-up moment wasn't graceful. I was homeless in Las Vegas in a toxic, abusive relationship, finally made it back to Montana and ending up overdosing in my parents' basement. I should have never walked away from that floor, but I did. And that was the moment everything changed. Podcasting became my lifeline. I didn't have money for mentors or courses, so podcast became my education, my therapy, my window into a world where people overcame the impossible. Listening saved my life. Creating gave me a new one. I healed myself through curiosity, through storytelling, through connection. I learned how to rebuild a life from zero. I learned how to become a man again, one with purpose, discipline, integrity, and a mission bigger than myself or himself. I know what happens when one person decides to step up and speak anyway. You give someone else permission to not give up. What I feel most called to share with your audience is this, and that's y'all listeners, so listen and we'll dive into this. Healing is never linear, growth is never clean, but your pain can become your power, your story can become service, and the very thing you think disqualifies you is often the thing that makes you most impactful. Truth. If my journey proves anything, it's that you can start over at any moment and build a life so aligned, so intentional, so purposeful that your purpose becomes a fuel instead of the anchor. So Robert, after overcoming addiction and rebuilding his life, created a content system designed to help people share their stories, serve their audience, and grow with authenticity. His work blends healing, expression, and strategy. So thank you, Robert, for dropping that. I thought that was very powerful.
You know, thank you. When I hear, like, obviously I put stuff out there, but when somebody tells me something that I said, I'm like, that's my life? Because I forget. You know, on January 5th, it'll be 7 years that I've been clean and sober from drugs and alcohol. Thank you. And I don't identify with the word addict or alcoholic anymore. I
Yeah.
used to, and that used to be my identity. Like my identity was in being a drug dealer, being an addict. And then when I recovered, I was the sober one. I'm better than you. Fuck you.
Hmm.
And now that I don't align with being or identify with being an addict or I'm broken anymore, when I hear that, like, oh yeah, that used to be me. I used to be homeless on the streets of Las Vegas. I was in an abusive, toxic relationship. I remember there'd be so many times where I'd be crying in my car or on the streets in Las Vegas because my quote unquote fiance would be cheating on me. And in that moment, or in that time, I didn't really hear about a lot about men being in an abusive relationship. Well, like, yes, men being in abusive relationships, but men not being on the other side of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I remember walking down to the McDonald's in Las Vegas when my fiance would be cheating on me. And I would go listen to the School of Greatness podcast by Lewis Howes. And just like that podcast just gave me a little bit of hope. Like that podcast kept me alive. So when I made it back to Montana, I overdosed. And I woke up in the hospital. And I was like, okay, like I need to get back. I need to get my shit together. Like I was sober for a couple years before. But maybe my story can help someone else. And with that, like I didn't have money for coaches or courses. How I bought my first microphone was my sister bought me or gave me like a $25 Amazon gift card for
That's
Christmas.
awesome. Yeah.
So, excuse me. I bought that. I used the free Zoom recording.
Yep.
And I made it happen. And through that was like selling guests, because like who am I, this kid from Helena, Montana, getting quote unquote better people than me. Like it gave me an opportunity to sell. It gave me an opportunity to build my podcast like a business. And why I always felt like I always went back to drugs and alcohol was because I wanted to like sell something. I was like, oh, I can sell drugs. So
Yeah.
the point in all this is my pain became my purpose. And for a couple years when I was trying to disconnect from the addict identity, I forgot who I was. I remember I would get these messages, text, emails. People would just come up to me randomly like, hey, that episode really helped me change my life. That post really helped me change my life. And like I forgot why I stopped making content for a long time. So if anyone's listening to this and you're afraid of something, I have learned everything that you want is on the other side of fear.
Truth.
Every time. And
every time. Literally
Yes.
every time.
Yes.
Sorry, I have to say that multiple times because I want people to get that. If you never listen to another podcast again, if you never listen to Robert or I again, you got to get that. Anyway, continue.
And yeah, everything that I've wanted has been on the other side of fear. If I never started making content, this conversation would not be happening right now.
Mm-hmm.
And there'd
Full
be
circle moment, baby.
Yes, absolutely. And when I met you at that conference, I had no idea the trajectory of my life was going to, because Dr. Mel was the very first person that adjusted me. And over a decade of pain I had in my shoulder, which I fucking forget what shoulder it is.
I know. I feel like, yeah, I feel like I've asked you and you're like, I think it was my right. It's funny when I work with people, I have this kind of like somatic memory, and I'm sensing into like your left, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know either, because you've cleared it. You've just evolved so much. Anyway.
Yeah. So in the I went to one of your seminars, workshops, immersions, whatever word you call
Whatever
it.
I'm calling it this year.
One of her
My
master,
things.
yes, one of her things. And like on the literally on the plane right over there, I was like, heck yeah, this I'm gonna get a bag of potato chips. This is gonna be awesome. Da, 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 da. And then like I got on your table, you told me to breathe, lifted up my legs, told me to get up, and I was like, okay, well maybe she's gonna like do my neck and like whatever. And then you told me to exhale. And the pain that was in my shoulder for over a decade was gone. And I came up to a family. I grew up in a family where chiropractors are quacks. Chiropractors are not real doctors.
Mhm.
My best friend in middle school, his dad had a chiropractic office right across the street from the high school.
Yeah.
And my family told me not to go there. And I now like looking at like the big picture, I see because if I went to a chiropractor and they helped me because I went to doctor after doctor and I couldn't find the doctor, and how I got into addiction was I couldn't find the relief. So me not
Yeah.
finding the relief, I went and got Oxycontin and morphine and whatever else that was to make my body feel better. I remember
Mhm.
taking Molly just so I could sleep.
Which is like the reverse effect,
Yeah. But it was the
which is
thing
wild.
that made my body numb where I could
Yeah.
finally rest.
Yeah. Your body could finally access that homeostasis. And for the listeners, and then Robert, keep going because this is great. For the listeners, if you're like, what does he mean by bag of potato chips? The traditional, not even traditional chiropractic, I need to find a new word. The chiropractors that kind of rack and crack every single joint in your body, and there's no analysis of the nervous system and what that person needs. That's what he's talking about. You may have seen online people taking bags of potato chips and like joking and adjusting it, whatever. So that's what he's talking about.
Yeah. Yes, that's exactly what I was talking about. And uh,
But
remember,
Oxy, I mean, that's such a gateway. That's such a gateway from the medical system when they're like, well, you have pain, here you go.
yes, yeah, I didn't know where to get. Like, I went to doctor after doctor after doctor, and they're like surgery, and then they're like go to PT, and then the PT's like just stretch and work out. I was like, okay, I'll stretch and work out, and then the pain was still there, and I like 30 seconds. So because of you, it opened up my eyes of what chiropractic can do.
Mm-hmm.
And I always want to, not always, but when I got more into content, I was like, okay, I wanted to help personal trainers because personal trainers get their message out and more people hire personal trainers and not afraid of personal trainers. Then more people lose weight, get in shape, and live happier lives.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm in my hometown and I realize that every personal trainer that I know is driving a 1984 Honda Civic, which is nothing wrong with that, but that is my way of saying that they're broke.
Yeah, sure.
And then learning about chiropractic and realizing that it's so much more about the nervous system. Like going to your workshop, seminar, immersion, the thing, whatever we're calling it.
For those of you who have been, the mental emotional mastery is what Robert came to when I hosted them at my office, and now we go to fancy Airbnbs.
That Airbnb was sick.
Dude, side note, you should see the one I'm doing in April next year. It's on 40 acres. So
Is that with
you
a
should come,
place that
Robert.
you've been to before?
No, that's ARC. That's 90 acres. This one is a different like Airbnb I found, but there's cabins and saunas and wood-fired hot tubs and a lake. And anyway, y'all should come, but continue. He came to one of those.
Yes.
Was that 2022? And then you've tuned in virtually.
Yes. I don't know the year, but then I tuned in virtually, and then I was there. Was it May?
This year. This year. Isn't that
Yeah.
wild? it feels like that was April this year. That feels like forever ago. So for context, y'all, Robert's done some personal like one-on-one work with me too.
Yes, and highly recommend it to anyone who is listening or not listening. But
Thank you.
so honestly, just like the work that you do, it opened up my eyes and like realizing that okay, how can I regulate my nervous system into more things? Because for me, I always thought like if I made my bed perfectly or if I did my perfect morning journal or whatever, then like I'll be okay.
Right.
But then or if I go, like I love 12-step meetings. I'm not talking bad about a 12-step program because I think for every individual who needs a 12-step program, it has a purpose for a certain time.
Totally.
So, but I came to a point where when I was going to 12-step meetings and listening to people who have been there for 20 years still talking about how, the first time they drank or like the problem. And I'm like, you're miserable as fuck. What I
Mic
want,
drop.
I want more out of life. The people that
Yes.
I surround myself with, I want more. I want to surround myself with people like you and high level achievers, and not talking about because alcohol, 12-step meetings have a purpose in life, but
Totally.
it came to a point where people would be like, "Oh, if you don't make it to a meeting, you're gonna drink." The
Yeah.
fuck? The literature says
Then you
it's
become then you become like addicted to like needing to go,
yeah,
right? Versus I think the whole like the reason why 12 step works in the beginning is it's community. But if
yes,
you can then surround yourself with another community, like you're saying, that lifts you up into this new identity and not always I remember you and I talked about this on one of your one-on-one calls. It was like, and if I may just interject here, because what you're
yeah,
speaking to is really important. Because that's how my brain works. I'm like, oh, I want to speak to that because it's so valuable. And you can take a sip of your drink. But that's what you and I talked about, which I learned a lot from you because I love to try to learn from my clients because I have never struggled with addiction to alcohol, but I had my own forms of addiction when it comes to like food or other things growing up. Anyway, and in those contexts, you can identify with like always a recovering alcoholic. And that is like forever your identity versus like what if I was able to evolve from that identity and still recognize that it's part of your story and can inspire people, but evolve your identity with it versus, well, once an alcoholic, always an alcoholic, right? And like you have to keep coming. And it's just like another revolving door. So
mm-hmm.
anyway, I thought that was really powerful when we talked about that on one of your one-on-ones because that's a lot of the work we did after chiropractic was like loving yourself for who you are and dissolving any residual guilt or shame and letting yourself evolve and choosing and allowing yourself to have more and being able to receive that without guilt, you know?
Yes, yes. Um, I like I always wanted to start like a sober community group, um, but always had that self belief or disbelief that like I can't charge money for this because of XYZ or I'm not good
Mm-hmm.
enough. And like I haven't made that yet. Excuse me. Well, I haven't gone public with it yet. But I one working with you and seeing that like that a service like that needs to be there.
Yeah.
Um and having a community, but like just I was always like attached to this thing that I didn't believe with, but if I did it, then I know the people from my hometown would give me shame and guilt and whatever. But that's on them. Like,
Yep. That's their stuff projected onto you.
exactly. And again, working with you, like shit, I don't know, porn, addicted to porn for majority of my life.
Yeah, we can talk about that more. Robert is real, y'all. Like, don't you love that this is just that's the theme of Project Lioness, as you know, is raw, real, bold truths. Because these are the conversations that people are so ashamed to have and they don't say it, they don't voice it. And I guarantee, I mean, I'm sure you know the percentage, but there are so many people who have these silent addictions. And what they say is, not addicted to alcohol. They're like, oh, well, I just have this every single day, every single night. And it's how I choose to numb the pain. And like, it's become normal. So I want you all for a moment to just pause. And like, if any of this is resonating with you, if you or you know someone who is struggling, and many of you entrepreneurs, this is you, because you get on your high horse and you're super successful. And then what do you do to cope with your stuff? Like, there's so many people in the highlight reels that behind the scenes, they've got some demons. So if you know anyone who would resonate with this, who's struggling, like, share this podcast with them. Okay. So for context, y'all, like, so Robert and I worked together at that immersion, and then him and I had connection in other groups and just stay connected. He eventually became a client, and we did some deeper work. And that's what I'm sensing we're going into next with like the addiction. Because sometimes what happens is like we get rid of one addiction, and unless we get to like the identity beneath it, the addiction keeps changing form, you know?
Yeah, and
So,
that's like exactly what it did.
mhm.
I remember I was sitting in my apartment in Indianapolis, and I quote unquote relapsed again
Mhm.
from porn, and I I didn't know if you could help me with this thing, but
I
I was
remember the
like,
text. I remember your text. You're like, I
fuck.
don't know if you can do this, but I was like, yeah, let's go.
Yeah. I was like, I don't like I trust you. I don't fucking know. Like
Yeah.
I'm fucking beating off 25 times a day to fucking porn. Uh which like is it's kind of funny that like I can openly talk about that now, because before I was so ashamed.
Yes.
I
Yes.
yeah, so ashamed. I I
Do
don't
you
even want
remember
to.
the feel? Can I ask, Robert,
Yeah.
do you, because usually when people reach out to me in that sense, there's kind of this, um, they expose themselves because they feel safe. And I'm like, hey, how did that feel in your body to share that? So do you remember like your experience in your body when you're like, fuck, I'm about to expose myself to someone that maybe I see as a mentor? And that's something I think is really important, is to be like, cool, good for you. You actually name this out loud. Now we can do some work. Like, no shame here, right? We all have our demons. We all have our addictions. But do you remember what that felt like in your body when you sent that first text?
Yeah, I remember I was honestly just so desperate, and I was like, I trust Mel, and this just seems right. And then when you were no judgment towards it, I was like, oh, fuck, thank God. All right.
Like an exhale, like, oh
Like,
my gosh, okay.
yes. Like, holy fuck.
Yeah.
I was sitting at my desk in my apartment in Indianapolis, and uh, I think I was wearing this jacket, now to think about
Oh
it.
my gosh. Trippy.
So,
That's so
uh,
trippy.
just like recalling the moment, like I remember that my blinds were closed. I was sitting at my desk with my computer, like this like, almost exact same setup. And I texted you because I was like, I fucking don't know what else to do. And when no shame, I was like, fuck, all right, cool, sign of relief. Um,
Mhm.
and I like through the I don't know how many calls we did, or I can't remember how long it was.
I think we worked together for a good, like with your one-on-one, like a good 4 to 6 months.
Yeah. Um,
Yeah.
but I was just like, that was just like my shoulder pain. I thought that was going to be something that I was going to live with for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
And working with you and learning more about the nervous system is like why uh, I'm get even more passionate about helping chiropractors share their message,
Yeah.
and why I fucking hate the $29 special bullshit and crack videos.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, it's very common in our profession to see people really desperately discounting their work because my perception, this is my judgment, and chiropractors can take it or leave it or allow it to sting, is they don't know their worth and their value of like the transformation that they can create, and they don't charge accordingly. Not that you can't offer, I don't know, plans for people, but if you're constantly giving I know you worked at McDonald's like when you were coming up and out, but like McDonald's pricing for what I think is, ribeye 5-star steakhouse experience and life-changing work. But so many chiropractors, and this may help you, Robert, so many chiropractors, one, they themselves have not had enough of a chiropractic experience, and they haven't experienced enough with their patients. You know what I mean? Like it's so surface level. They haven't gone to the depths of like what it actually can do for people. So
Yeah.
I think that's a big root cause of why they discount, because back to what you're saying, it's the shame and the guilt of like, who am I to charge? My exam for me is $300. People pay that, no problem, because I know it's possible because of people like Robert, trusting me. And thank you for sharing all this. I had no expectation of this podcast and for you to just share openly. And I appreciate it, because I know that there are other people, especially men, that are suffering silently, and it's impacting their marriage. It's impacting their relationships. It's impacting their business. It's impacting their ability to grow their business. So it's really important to have these conversations.
Yeah. It's kind of hard to grow your business when you're jerking off to Pornhub all day.
I don't mean to laugh, but
What? No,
it's funny because it's true.
Yeah.
And that's like when you texted me, because I know that you were working through some stuff with, your former company or your former, employer, and wanting to step into more of your purpose. I was like, yeah, that's got to get in the way. Like shit doesn't get done. So let's clear this so you can keep growing your business.
Yeah. You obviously know who Andy Elliott is and Andrew Tate.
Mm-hmm.
You probably, you probably don't follow them.
I don't follow them, but I know them because people talk about them.
Yeah. So, before like you helped me with this, like I would see like their snippets on social media or whatever. Yeah. And like, oh, what the fuck? You're not successful because you're jerking off to Pornhub all day? And I'm like, how does he know? Like, what? But so, like, some guy that I haven't even met who has a mass following probably is speaking the truth because he struggled with that.
Oh, absolutely. Or he's seen his clients, or I don't know if he has clients, but like he knows it's out there.
Yeah. And so I started working with you. I went to Funnel Hacking Live. I met this girl, and like we were doing street interviews and we were talking, and I was like, I forget what we were talking about, but I was like, yeah, I struggle with this one thing, yada yada yada. I'm like, I was like super nervous to tell her. And I'm like, excuse me, I struggle with porn addiction. She's like, oh, wow. Like my husband does too. Mm-hmm. And I was like, holy fuck. I thought like she was going to slap me in the face or whatever. Cause I don't know. But then like, no, like my husband does too. Like I get it. And she doesn't do the same type of work you do, but she is in the self-help healing world. But it was just interesting that like once I opened up that door and started talking about it, I found other people who had experienced it, and there is no guilt and shame in there.
Yes. Yes.
And like I'm terrible with this thing on my phone. That is something that I need to actually get better. I tell myself that I'm on my phone because I'm doing research, because I want to see what's viral and I want to see what's trending and I want to see what's. And then pretty soon, 3 hours go by.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then like I am doing those things, but then I go down rabbit holes, and then I'm like, I'm getting nothing done.
Yeah.
So, but if you just take action on anything instead of just scrolling looking for the perfect moment, like stuff gets done.
Mm-hmm. And I think you said it earlier that mirrors what you're speaking to now, is that fear, you having fear of speaking up to this person you just met, opened up a door. And like what you seek is that, what you were seeking was that connection of like, okay, does anyone else struggle with this? Like whatever. And then you open the door, You step into it, you're brave, you're courageous, and then boom, there you go. And that's because when we take that new action and we step into our fear, because I think fearless is such a overused term. Like you're always going to have fear. Like you're a human, you have an amygdala, you have a nervous system. Fear is hardwired into our survival circuitry. And so good luck trying to be fearless, but you get better at navigating the fear. And that's just something I saw in you more and more and more. And I think you've had that resourcefulness for a long time in your life. It's just owning it now. But like for you listeners, when you step into that fear, like so many doors open and the resources are like right in front of you. They're right in front of you. They become so much more accessible, whether it's a new client or making a connection or I don't know, you name it, right? But you've gotta match that resistance and say, you know what? I'm afraid and like I'm scared and cool. So what? Right? Like, so what? Everyone has fear. Great. Do something about it, you know? So I appreciate you sharing like those different examples with that.
Yeah. And when I like one, I'm grateful that not great. Yeah, I'm grateful because being on the streets at homeless in Las Vegas and like overdosing and all that stuff, like if shit gets hard, then I'm like, oh, at least I didn't overdose.
Yeah.
Like, okay, yeah, this shit's hard. My business this year did not go as planned at all. It went the exact opposite as planned. Um, but now seeing like the bigger reason behind it, like I'm changing lots of things in my business on how I can best serve my clients and like serve my time. Being on an airplane fucking 3 times a month, I was over it.
Yeah, that's a lot.
And that I uh now that I'm not on an airplane so much, my nervous system's more regulated. So
Hmm.
now uh those certain urges are like almost like after working with you, like they diminished a lot. Now not being
Yeah.
on an airplane every 3 weeks, it's even more like holy shit. Like I feel so like besides right now because I'm sick, but I feel so much better. Um
Yeah.
so honoring my time, honoring my systems, honoring the things that like are important to me. Yes, I want to be in Florida. But I value family.
Don't we all?
Yes. I value family and I'm here in Montana. Uh, can I hop on a plane and go to Florida whenever I want? Yes. But I'm here and I'm making the best of it.
Mm.
Maybe there will be a time where I live in Florida, or maybe there'll be a time where I have 2 homes. Maybe,
Hmm.
but right, like being in addiction and being gone, I miss so much of my family's life now that like
Yeah.
I know what I value, I know what I don't value, I know what I want to serve, what serves my time, um, and just honoring that because I used to bend over backwards for people and they would spit in my face, and
Mm.
I would think that I need to buy their friendship or
Yes.
or just be abusive to myself
Yeah.
because I didn't know my self worth. But after doing the
Yes.
work and knowing what I'm worth, and not on a monetary value, but just on a self respect value.
Yeah.
Does this serve my time? No, done. And that I never thought I would get to a point like that.
Mm. That's
That is,
priceless.
yeah. I I was kind of thinking about this the other day about how for the right people, if you call me at 2 in the morning, I'll be there. Now, for the right people, but it used to be a point. Anybody call me at 2 in the morning, I'll be there.
Yeah.
Bitch, that person. If I call that random person at 2 in the morning, they ain't gonna fucking be there. Fuck you. So it's honoring my time, and like that is the self worth of loving myself.
Hmm.
Um. So yeah, I used to have these non-negotiables that I get up, I do XYZ, but like realistically, like life happens. If I didn't
Mhm.
do these non-negotiables, then I would beat myself up and then I would live in shame.
And then the shame, that emotional spiral drives the behavior,
Exactly.
right? So that's where you and I talked a lot. And I want y'all to get this. Like, it's not about the behavior. So many things try to change behavior. Like, oh, and you're an alcoholic, just stop doing this. Oh, you do this, you're addicted to porn, just stop. Just stop. The way that I see it from a nervous system perspective is everything is intelligent and your nervous system is intelligent. And so if your body is expressing this behavior and this symptom, we have to ask why. What is the underlying root cause of that behavior? And why? Okay, so shame. Got it. What's driving the shame? Well, shit, that could be an experience from fucking decades ago. That's this undertone, this undercurrent in your system. And then you wonder why you self-sabotage. You wonder why you're like, damn, I didn't set my boundaries again. Why do I keep doing that? Well, I'll just try harder. I'll just try harder. I'll just say more affirmations and I'll just do more. No, it's not about doing more. It's actually about becoming more and loving yourself. And when you love yourself and you know your value, the boundaries become effortless, right? You can send the text. You can charge your worth to a client. And I think, Robert, I want to acknowledge you because hearing your story for, a couple times now, what I'm hearing is like, there's no such thing as a lack of resources. It's a lack of resourcefulness.
Yeah.
And so many people think that they need more resources to get what they want when actually they need more resourcefulness of like, you know what? At least I didn't overdose. Okay, I hit rock bottom. I'm going to get more resourceful and do something with my life. Because so many people accept like their fate versus claiming more for their life unapologetically. And that's what, to me, that's what lioness energy is like, you're going to take on life ferociously and you can regulate your nervous system. You can take a fucking nap. You can be sick and like lay on the couch, right? And as for us entrepreneurs, that is, yes, very inconvenient and sometimes necessary for our next evolution. So I just wanted to acknowledge that part of your story that I've heard you say, and a theme I see in you is it's about resourcefulness, y'all. I mean, listen, I have clients and people where they make a lot of money, whatever that means, right? A lot is a perception, but they have such a lack of resourcefulness in their mind, in their creativity, in their gratitude. Everything is a problem. Like they never have enough money. And yet if you looked at their statements, you're like, bitch, what? Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
So it's like, where are you really rich? Where does wealth actually really exist? Because there's a lot of people who make a lot of money who are really unhealthy, or you name your thing, right? And then there's a lot of people who they're building their financial assets, but they have the abundant mindset of infinite potential and resourcefulness. So I wanted to speak to that.
Yeah. No, hundreds, not hundreds, but plenty of people have used the Tony Robbins example of close your eyes and then open them, or close your eyes, and when you open up your eyes, look and find red in the room, and then all you see is red. Uh,
Right.
I am I perfect at not seeing a problem in everything? No, but having that moment to sit back and realize, okay, what can I do about this?
Yes. Yeah.
What can I do? Am I gonna die if this thing doesn't get done? Probably not, because I'm not building a fucking airplane.
Not yet.
I that is airplanes. I barely passed math class. I should not be fixing airplanes. So
Yeah, aerospace engineers are something else. I mean, I'm married to an engineer, not aerospace, but their brain thinks very differently. Yeah, I like that analogy, and I've also heard Tony say that, and many people. And you're gonna face challenges in life, no matter how much work you do. You just get, like I said, better at navigating them and taking personal responsibility and being like, okay, this is happening. There's some things that are out of my control, but what do I have control of? And a lot of that is like the space between your ears and how you approach the situation. And if you keep wearing your rose-colored glasses, you're forever going to see the world that way. Like, and it's normal, as you said, to seek problems because that's our brain seeking and scanning the environment for threat. So sure, address the problems, but then also let the other part of your brain and nervous system come online, which is like, okay, what's the solution here? And if the solution isn't immediately available, then be open to taking action for the solution to reveal itself.
Mm-hmm.
But it's normal to seek threats and problems. That's part of the human experience. That's part of our nervous system. Like, and so many people hyper focus on it and they're unwilling to be like, okay, here's the problem. What's the solution? And they just want to bitch and complain about the problem because they get a dopamine hit when they do that versus like, okay, cool, take responsibility and do something about it, right?
Yeah.
So,
The bio for my first podcast, None of Your Business, it was, I guess, something like, we all go through struggles. It doesn't matter what our background is, but we can overcome them. And I wanted to share people how, because you and your unique life experience, you overcame that. And by you overcame that, you have impacted the lives of many women and men like myself because of the things that you went through and overcame, because you decided to do the work and overcome them.
yeah.
Just like me and just like other people that are listening, like it doesn't, like yes, you are a special human being, but you're not that fucking special. Get over yourself and work on your problems.
I just saw a post the other day about that. It's like if you keep focusing on your problems and your trauma and we make these problems like so mental, you're just continuously reinforcing this like persona about yourself and it becomes all about you, but yet you think you're healing, but you're still just talking about yourself versus I don't know about you, I'm curious your thoughts on this and then we can get into like how you serve and help people. But I have found the most extraordinary fulfilling way to get out of my own bullshit and trauma because I still have stuff that pops up, like I'm human, right? And many of you listeners know my journey. I serve. I serve people. I serve, I teach, I lead, and I take the spotlight off myself. Sure, do your inner work and then go serve, then go teach. And if any of you, I'm not super religious, but for some reason I've been really interested in like learning about the Bible from people recently, and I find it fascinating. There's so many lessons in there, but it's like take care of yourself and go take care of the community. Go be a steward to the people of this planet. And you do that, you're not going to be depressed. You're not going to focus on all your bullshit. And that's what I think. That's where I think healing, this like whole healing world is like, I'm healing my inner wounds. Cool. Great. Feel safe, do your thing, scream, cry, come to one of my immersions, whatever. But then figure out how to turn that pain into a fucking purpose to serve people. And if you continuously learn how to solve people's problems, you're not going to be broke a day in your life. Not just your bank account, but in your consciousness and your learning and your people. There's so many forms of wealth, right? But so many people are in this like trend of, I think it's getting better, but especially in COVID times, everyone had to go inward and like face their shit and stay in a little box in this stupid pandemic. And people got so self-obsessed. That's the word I'm looking for. It's like we're so self-obsessed in our culture. I mean, take a selfie. Look at me on TikTok. Like it's look at me. And I'm like, cool, what are you doing for other people? What are you doing for other people? And like I'm on one today because I love chatting with you. And I also just got done with like almost a 2-hour like experience that I'm hosting over the next week. So I am like on one. So
Did that start today?
Yeah, it started today. So perfect timing.
Heck yeah. I get the after effect of that. Fucking sweet.
And I have a one-on-one client right after this. So I'm like, girl, you better be ready.
Yeah, damn.
Anyway. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
She like whoever that client is, like that's like an extra bonus call.
Yeah. And it's, I can't get too, not that I can't, I'm mindful of like, if I get too in that, like something will come to kind of humble me. So I'm mindful of that and it's got to express it. So service, becoming less self-obsessed, doing your inner work so that you can connect to this purpose that you now have to serve other people. So we do have a decent amount of chiropractors and other healers and leaders and entrepreneurs that listen to this podcast. So share with them, like, now that you've done a lot of inner work and you're rediscovering your purpose and turning your pain to your purpose and power, what does that look like for you and how are you serving people?
Yeah. So in my hometown, just being a service to my friend's family. I started going to church a lot more, which is crazy to think that, because when we first met, if you told me that I would have a cross tattooed on my neck, that would be insane. But that's just the way it is. Just being a service to my friends, my family, and my community. I am in the works of starting a sober community.
Nice.
I woke up. I rarely wake up at 4 a.m. Like, rarely. But I woke up at 4 a.m. and like this voice in my head was like, start it. And I was like,
dude, yes, those are the perfect times.
Yeah, like that, like it was so clear, like this is what you need to do. And like I was praying and like, give me a sign that like no matter what, like this is what I know what I need to do. And waking up at 4 a.m. and it was like so crystal clear, like I was like, okay, obviously this is what I need to do. So that's what I'm doing. But when it comes to, if I'm, for a couple years I kind of hid because I was so not trying to identify that I am an alcoholic or addict. But now opening that door, that conversation back up. So if somebody that I know is struggling with alcohol or whatever it is, like I'm there to have that conversation, and anyone can hit me up anytime to have that conversation. But
by the way, we'll put Robert's information in the show notes, y'all, if you want to go check out his social media and all of that.
Thank you. So there's that, and also how with my content business, I am helping principal chiropractors get their message out so they can serve their community, because I was someone who, because of how big pharma and the world portrays chiropractic, I didn't go, because alcoholism and addiction like runs my family. I don't want to say 100%, but 99%. If I went to a chiropractor when I was 14 years old, like there would be no reason, and that pain relief was gone. There would have been no reason for me to go seek relief like I did somewhere else. So if I can help change the narrative of chiropractic in a small percentage way, where someone like me goes to a chiropractor when they need it and doesn't overdose, that's the impact that I want to have. Because I see these fucking $29 special crack video adjustments where some Asian dude with a mallet in China or whatever the fuck it is doing it wrong, and somebody doesn't go to the chiropractor, or it's a bag of potato chips and the person gets adjusted wrong, or the one person goes to a chiropractor and they think it's a one-time adjustment like buying a crack rock, but and getting checked or an adjustment, it could be 7, 8, 3 months from now, but like we don't know. Just like, if an ice cube, I love I think it's, oh my gosh, Atomic Habits, James Clear, his analogy. If you have an ice cube in a room of 30 degrees, and then you turn it up a notch to 31, is it going to melt? No. And then turn it up a little bit more. At 32, it's going to start to melt. Then 33, it's going to melt even more. Like, but when you're turning up the temperature, like you don't see anything there until you hit to that turning point. Then just because the work that you were doing doesn't eliminate or wasn't happening, you weren't seeing, just because you didn't see results doesn't mean no work was being done, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, that's a great way of saying it.
So that, like, you impacted my life on so many different levels. If I can take some stuff and the other things that I've learned and put it into something that I am passionate about and can impact other people's lives in their communities, then that's what I want to do. So how do I serve? I help principal chiropractors show their message to the people that they're meant to serve, because
Mm.
I was someone who didn't know what chiropractic was, even though like my grandma knows how passionate I am about chiropractic, and I like something is wrong with her hips, and I was like, well,
Yeah,
before you go have surgery, like, why don't you just go to a chiropractor? Like
yeah.
before you, and she was like, I'd rather go have surgery, and I'm
Mm.
like,
Hmm.
okay,
And that's tough. That's tough. We hear that too. And it's tough when it's your family,
yeah,
because you know the impact. And
yeah,
yet we can't always save people as much as we want to. So you
no,
sound like a chiropractor. That's like our like, okay. I still love you. And
yeah. She's like, they're quacks, and I'm like, be, because I didn't like throw it in her. I to myself, I thought, you know, because the comments like that is why I went and sought pills.
yeah. And you know what? In every industry, if I were to say to your grandma, I'm like, yeah, some chiropractors suck, just like any industry. Some people who create content suck. Some people there's in every industry, there's quacks. And I just appreciate you getting the word out there in such a way that serves people, number one, and two, is not your traditional way of talking about the world of chiropractic. And for those of you who are entrepreneurs, Robert's, I know he's helped a lot of his clients like get more exposure, marketing, all of that, and get more of your message out there. So definitely check him out. Is it still the Content Outlaw,
It is.
your handle? Okay.
That is my handle. Because chiropractors were kind of the outlaws back in the day.
Yes, we still are. You know
Yes,
what's my brother said this. Oh, I lost my headphone. My brother said this the other day. He said, "Isn't it interesting that?" Or no, yeah, I don't know if my brother said it or I heard it somewhere. The timelines are blurring. I'm like, who said what, where?
that's fair.
Anyway, he said, "Isn't it interesting that Walgreens can incentivize shots and you get paid or you get like a bonus, right? And this, if you get flu shots, if you get COVID shots, fine, do your thing." But he said these companies can incentivize you, which is marketing, right? We as chiropractors cannot incentivize referrals or pay people to like send people to us. That's illegal.
What?
Yeah, it's illegal.
No
So
way.
if you were a client of mine, if you were a patient regularly and I said, Robert, I'll pay you if you send people here, illegal. Now, I can gift you to say thank you, but if I'm directly incentivizing you with money, illegal. And
Uh,
yet these big corporations and companies can incentivize people to become customers of their work very easily. There's commercials everywhere. There's like 2-for-1 flu shots. And, I clearly I'm being a little bit more bold today. And you listeners, where I kind of dance behind the scenes, now you kind of know, my take. And I'm here to love you no matter what. I'm here to adjust you, serve you, coach you, whatever. If you get 50 million vaccines, great, do it. Not my thing. Not my thing. Anyway, I thought that just whatever you said reminded me of that, the incentivization of marketing. So if you want to get your message out there in a way that's powerful, talk to Robert, y'all.
well, thank you. I
Mm-hmm.
appreciate that. Since I drive by it every day, I like glance at it. But I think there's a dentist on the way to my house where like he is like incentivizing for referrals.
Every profession is different.
Yeah.
Um, I just know that you need to be very careful with
Like,
that.
yeah. Again, I could
So,
be like, it's just something that I don't pay attention to it because just
yeah,
something that I glance by. And, teeth are important and,
yeah.
but it just
But you
made me,
get your teeth checked, you get your cavities checked. Why not get your spine checked?
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's crazy. Yeah. Uh,
yeah.
um,
I hope you make some content out of that.
yes. Yeah.
Which I'm saying this because it's so important. Like marketing and getting your message out there is so important because we We have been known as these outlaws. And you know what's funny is not a lot of people realize we go to medical school. Like we learn all of these courses and classes. We take national boards. We take pharmacology. We take, like nervous system dynamics. We take GI systems. We take women's health, men's health. We take all these courses. Obviously, MDs have a lot more training in pharmacology, but we even take a pharmacology class. It's 4-year. It's a 4-year bachelor's, and then it's also a 4-year postdoctoral program, right? Yeah. And people don't get that it's not a weekend course, y'all. We understand the body. Anyway, now I'm on my high hours, but
you're not a ASAM or a NASM chiropractor that get your online certificate.
No,
whatever the personal trainer.
Not at all. Yeah, but I say this as we wrap things up, Robert, and then share with us, words of wisdom as we close, where people can find you, whatever, if they want to work with you. But I say this because it is more important now than ever to get your message out there, because there is so much noise in the world of messages being out there, AI, Instagram, Facebook, whatever. And if you have a very powerful story and your patients or your practice members have a very powerful story, people need to hear about that, like Robert's story, which is why I also brought him on the podcast. I was like, people need to hear this because I'm not dumb. So anyway, anything you want to share, last closing words or wisdom, or where can people find you if they want to work with you or inquire working with you?
Instagram, The Content Outlaw. My Instagram sucks because I am more focused on my clients, but 2026.
I found that. Not you, but sorry, then I'll let you continue. But I found a lot of marketers, they are spending so much time on their clients that they, their marketing is kind of like the last thing, which, not a bad thing.
It's not. But I have someone on my team who is handling everything for me personally, except for actually doing the recording because they can't do that. But right. I finally am, in fact, treating myself as a client, because so many people, they're like, okay, you say that you get millions of views, but doesn't show it. I'm like, yeah, I know. I'm the fat personal trainer. I'm sorry. But
he does have evidence to show it. He does have evidence with clients on his page.
So with the world going to AI and a lot of chiropractors here, if you are in the health and wellness or anything, but because we are so passionate about chiropractic, in a world going with AI, if you are making AI content and people buy from they know, like, and trust, the second they learn that your content is AI, is that going to break the trust? And is that going to defer people walking to your door for the life-changing service that you provide? So build a personal brand, show behind the scenes, show who you are. So when you need to teach your clients on long-term care, they believe you because they value you as a person, not just a doctor.
Preach. Love that. That's such a good perspective. Thank you, my friend, for your wisdom. Anything else you want to share as we wrap up?
No. If you haven't hired Dr. Mel by the time this is done, then go hire her now. So that's all I got to say.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Seriously, thank you for, just your endorsement. That means the world because, my work in the coaching world is also kind of the same. It is very different. It's not your traditional mindset coaching. And unless people talk about it or share it, it's, slowly getting out there. All right, y'all. Well, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening to this powerful man's story. And listen, if you have men in your life who are looking for support, also talk to Robert. I know he's building something really great, and I'm just all about men doing the work as well. And it's super, super important and not putting it all on the women. So with that, y'all, thank you for tuning in. Love and appreciate you. And until next time, peace, love, and keep inspiring. Bye. Thank you for joining the Project Lioness podcast. Did you find value in today's episode? Help us impact the lives of others by sharing this podcast with someone you know who would resonate and benefit from the Project Lioness message. Excited to hear more? We invite you to subscribe on whatever platform you're tuning in on. And we'd be so grateful for you to leave us a review about what you enjoy most, as well as what you'd like to hear more of. Thank you so much for all of your support. Sincerely yours in power, purpose, and play. Dr. Mel with the Project Lioness podcast. Keep rising, keep roaring, and keep inspiring.